And we had to learn those songs in school at some point in time, along with the national anthem, along with
Hold
all
on.
those other national songs that came up during that time. But you could just hear the innocence and the genuinity in that song.
All right. Well, we have to give the results of our morning poll. Richard, you have it?
I hope so, because I didn't write.
Richie Rich?
I'm in between.
You look back on yet? Let me check.
Yeah,
Yes, I do have the results.
Well, I have a very important results here. And it comes, folks, you have to listen, turn up the volume. It's from Nyla, Richard's sister. Here what Nyla writes. It says, Steve, this is Nyla. Trinidad as old as my brother. I didn't say that, Rich. That was from Nyla.
Is she voting?
I didn't say that word. I thought that was so hilarious. Out to the blue Nyla, what's happening?
So our poll is going.
Trinidad as old as my brother.
Are you proud of your country on its 60th anniversary? That's how I have it listed there. We had how many people we had voting, boy? 29 people. 7 said no and 22 said yes, they are proud. Some of the reasons the 22 people said yes, people said the people, the beauty of the country, steel pan, culture, athletes, culture, sports, natural beauty, people, gifted men and women, amazing. What is this? I can't remember some of the right here. Amazing something.
And your age,
Beauty. Power 102. One person said that.
That was Ken E.
All types of unity. The unity is one. And
There was
all
food.
types of food.
Yeah, and there was steel band.
So I said
Steel
Steve
pan.
already. So all of those were some of the reasons why people felt they were proud of the country. Of the 7 people who said they weren't proud at what we have done for 60 years, they indicated reasons like crime, indiscipline, dirtiness, bad roads and governance, too little regard for human rights, hatred and division.
It would be interesting to see what the US and the UK were like at 60.
Probably.
I must suspect they would have had many of the same issues we have today.
I'm saying that. Probably still embroiled in wars, all the different internal wars that they would have had.
Yeah, civil wars and So at 60 they may have been very, very tumultuous.
Yeah, we're young.
Relatively, but I keep saying we do have to wait till 350 years to get to where we want to be.
True.
I think our greatest issue is our political system, which pits us against each other and continues to do that. And the fact that we are rolling around very, very slowly, in some cases regressing because of the political environment. I think we could have been a lot further ahead if we had a different kind of political system that we use to govern ourselves, because we have continued with being mainly the Westminster system of government opposition, and depending on who's in power, the other side just opposes, as opposed to looking at the issues that we can come together and make a difference. And then the cycle changes in 5 years or 10 years or 8 years or 7 years, and we basically start over almost from scratch. That's why we're not as far ahead as we should be.
Yeah.
Or could be. Let me say could be.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to believe, and I mean, people could disagree with me with that. Is not a problem. That had Mr. Manning retained the power, not gotten hubris and call early elections because he thinks that he could have done this and done that, I think we would have been further along if he had remained in power for a bit longer. I think we would have been further along.
Well, I think of the last 20 years, I'll specify 20 years, I think in retrospect, now we see Mr. Manning had the clearest vision for the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
He
not
was
sure
bringing
that
the country
anybody else
together.
has articulated or championed as clear a vision as Mr. Manning. You may not have agreed with him at the time, but now you see the wisdom in his approach. Yeah, he made some mistakes, no two ways about it. I think Mr. Manning would still be in power if he just acceded to the concerns about Calder Heart in particular.
Mm-hmm.
He'd still be in power today, but he would have lasted longer in power. He may not have been in power today, but you know.
Yeah.
Calder Heart was less my issue than Miss Pena.
Well, they were linked.
They were linked, you know. Yes, you're right.
They were linked, and Miss Pena was because of Calder Heart in a lot of ways. So I think if he had acceded to the concerns,
you had to switch that around. You might have to switch that around. That
I ain't
Calder
dealing with
Heart-
what they say about Pena, and I know what Calder Heart. Okay, Pena is a personal machination of Mr. Manning. Calder Heart is a political one, and if he did the call, at least the call of the issues surrounding Calder Heart, he would not have suffered the fate he suffered. And I think the country would be in a different place. But going back to the original point, I think he articulated and championed the clearest vision for Trinidad and Tobago. None.
Paul, what happened there?
Okay, you hear me now?
You disabled him? Yeah.
Yeah. The vision he had for Port of Spain in particular, and Port of Spain would not be the city it is today, as challenged as it is, without Mr. Manning's vision.
Yeah.
And his vision for the country was the clearest I've seen in the last 20 years.
And he was about implementation.
And he actually executed.
Yeah.
Which is why Calder Heart was important to him.
But it wasn't necessarily the appropriate way given Calder Heart's shortcomings.
Yeah. I think the pressure on Calder Heart came because of what he was alleged to have been doing on behalf of Mr. Manning from Hispania. So the pressure started to bear on Calder Heart then. That issue of that church and other things that
I don't think it's the church alone. No? I think when you're in charge of so much boards and the allegations of money moving left, right, and center in an unauthorized manner, I think there were several accountability and transparency issues with Calder Heart that have never been resolved fully, but were of grave enough concern that Mr. Manning should have said, you know what, given what we are hearing, I'm not saying innocent or guilty, let me just investigate and put a pause on you. And that didn't happen.
You see, the projects that Udicut undertook at the point in time,
Under
all
Calder
of them
Heart.
came in under Calder. All of them were reported to have come in on time and under budget. You know, all
I
of
ain't
them
about under budget.
No, the diplomatic residents, Napa I think went over, but there were quite a few that came in on time and on budget.
Calder Heart wasn't the Brown Stadium too at one point.
Yes, well that.
So then how you can say they come in under budget?
No, oh gosh, I said most of them were reported.
You didn't say most, you're now adding most.
All right. Okay. So most of them were reported at the
And I
point.
ain't sure it's most either.
And I only saying reported because I don't remember the facts. I don't remember all the facts.
Yeah, and there were concerns about the ballooning budgets and the management of cost and the transparency and accountability involved in Calder Heart stewardship.
I think the Brian Lara Stadium
Obviously,
is one that stood out.
Obviously, then Prime Minister Manning had faith and confidence in Calder Heart.
But he wanted to get it done. He didn't care how it get done.
So he.
I wouldn't say he didn't care, you know.
He didn't show that he cared, given the concerns raised.
Well, he felt at the point in time that Calder Heart was being unfairly attacked. That's how he felt.
But because he had a mission for Calder Heart got it done, you know. But it's at what cost?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm conflicted about Calder Heart. I know he's been demonized over the years, but I have never been convinced that he was more negative than he was positive.
I'm
Again,
with you
that's
there.
all
I'm
reference
with you on that, Richard. I'm with you on that because
And it remains in the murky haze of history because we will never know for sure.
True.
Well, yeah, time passed now.
Yeah. Is Collard still alive? I don't even know.
Yes, he is, and living in
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale.
And
But I know I know that's what I liked about Manning, beyond his vision, and the vision wasn't about a one man's vision. It was about a lot of that whole Vision 2020 document. And he was getting buy-in from the population to that Vision 2020.
Yeah.
And he did get buy-in from the population because it was so cross-sectional in terms of the society. And there was, I think, a lot of the country behind that Vision 2020 in terms of the infectious enthusiasm that Mr. Manning had at the time for it, and getting us to go forward on it. And I blame the UNC under the People's Partnership. I blame the People's Partnership for the delay in the implementation and continued energy behind that. Because they changed it completely. They did the whole thing of burning the Vision 20 document, if I remember correctly.
They didn't just change it, they tore it up on the platform.
Or they didn't burn it, they tore it up. And
Cabinet
then
Prasad
proceeded to do
tore it up.
something called Pillars of Development, which was kind of like a mirror of it, but a watered down kind of version of it. But basically, a plan, but in other words, they wanted to say, well, we're not doing Vision 2020, we're doing Pillars of Development. And that aggravated the hell out of me. Because you're right, Paul, and this is something that we talk about, the issue of continuity. And I think because the Vision 2020 document was so cross-sectional, I think Manning in his own way was trying to make it a document that was national in scope that would survive whichever administration.
Yes.
That did not happen. So we had the Pillars of Development under the People's Partnership. And if you got invested in that, well, sorry, the PNM came and they switched it back out of Vision.
One of our researchers
It's now Vision 2030.
Yeah.
We couldn't even do it by 2020.
And you know,
had to add on another decade.
To Mr. Manning's credit, the people he commissioned to come up with Vision 2020 was cross-sectional, as Richard said. It included some of the best thinkers in the country, and it was demonized because simply it was presented by Mr. Manning.
Yep.
One of our researchers just sent me an expose on some of TNT's absurd biggest scandals to hit the UNC and PNM. Some of the allegations against Caldat include $820 million in contracts Udicott allegedly awarded to the company which Hart's in-laws once sat as directors, the Malaysian firm Sunway Construction. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Right? The allegation first made by then Tabakita MP Ramesh Lawrence Maraj. The Brian Lara Cricket Academy, which I referenced. So, and then last Arturas Towers was controversial. So let's not pretend that it was most of them was above board.
You called 3 of about 20 projects.
I call them mega projects. We're talking about size of contracts. And since when size is important to you?
And guess what? Caldat was not even charged for one thing after the People's Partnership, who also maligned him to the end of this earth, and you could swear Anand Ramlogan was personally going and arresting. Nothing happened.
And can I ask, since when laying charges for allegations of wrongdoing and corruption is a benchmark in this country?
And since when allegations of wrongdoing is the truth? Since when? You of all people should know that. Politicians, they like to sling mud in this place, you know.
But we are the mudslinging capital of the world. Of the Caribbean, I should say.
That is why too I listened to all what the PNM would have said about the then People's Partnership too. And what happened?
Yeah, that's the point. Allegations are no benchmark in this country.
Exactly.
Charges being laid.
They're none.
All I know is that if Manning had retained power, we would have had the monorail.
And we would have had the Carnival Center in the Savannah.
We'd have a lot of stuff. He would have delivered. He would have delivered because his track record was delivery.
Yep.
So.
And he saw, obviously, he had he saw Trinidad from a personal point of view. He saw Trinidad in a particular way.
He had the clearest vision articulated in the last
He
20,
saw
25
Trinidad
years. That's
in
what I
a
said.
particular way.
Yeah, and clearly articulated and executed to a large extent.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We would have had the causeway to Chagaramas.
Yep.
and Wendell would be mayor of Port of Spain at one point.
Oh, well, I
Yep.
probably would have been. You're right.
Yeah, Wendell would be mayor. Right now, we wouldn't be talking to Wendell.
Of course, that I wasn't coming off radio. Not for nothing. Not
And
for
he'd be
nothing.
one of the better mayors too, I think.
Well, it's too late to find out that now.
No, I wouldn't say it's too late. You never know.
Yeah.
Some benevolent person might just say, you know what, it's time for Wendell to rise.
Call me, but
Port of Spain Mayor, His Worship Wendell Stephen.
call me, but would say that.
I don't know that Carl will always hold
Call him better in
strings
charge
of
of the
power.
party or what? Are you
Carl
saying
might
that
always
the
the police.
Timber is in charge?
Watch. Wendell, I say this with the greatest of grace. You can't do worse than the present mayor. And I'll leave that alone after that. You could only do better.
I'm getting
Wendell,
in
don't
no-
respond, please.
The
I'm
state that
getting
Port of
in
Spain
no
in,
conversation about any mayor whatsoever.
the state that Port of Spain in now, you can't do worse. I think Steve Khan would make a better mayor.
I just
And I make
we
no
do have the
apology for saying
monorail.
that.
I still come back to the monorail. I'm sorry we don't have it.
I'll
I
give
think
us-
it would
don't
have
worry
really
about it.
worked. I think it really would have worked in the country.
Oh yes, to have modernized the country.
Yeah.
And a lot of our productivity issues are transportation related.
Yeah.
So we open the phone lines. Tell us about what you think about your country at 60.
At
Correct.
60 years. Yeah.
You notice I'm not on camera because I'm preparing to run away from you all a bit to have a bath. So naturally, you know what?
Well, you could send the ratings zooming
You
this
still have on
morning.
your hairnet and thing.
Yeah,
Just
Ned,
put her on the camera
I
and let the
barely have
country
any hair in
see
my head.
how professional babes.
I barely have any hair in my head. Hold on. Let me get a peep there quick. Hold on.
A peep. Okay.
What?
You sure?
That's
Very
let me give you
sinister.
a peep. Let me give you a peep.
I'm afraid. I'm very
Let's go. Hold on. Wait,
Share the live. Share the live. I waited
Recording in progress.
Right. There we go.
Go ahead.
till it's share. Share the live.
I haven't recorded. We can share it after. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, we're going to get a
Share the
Wendell
live, share
Stephen
the live.
peep. I don't know what that means.
Share the live.
That is it?
I get a peep. I'm shaving.
Oh, geez. We have real calls coming through. So let's
Wow.
go. Good morning.
Morning to all in the studio.
Recording
Good morning.
stopped.
Happy Independence to you.
Happy Independence to you, to all of you all. I would like to say, for the 60 years I've been on this earth, I could safely say there has been a lot of improvements, especially education-wise, where children who could have never seen the doors of CIC Convent Bishops, Fatima, they can now go there due to sitting an exam, and all of that was due because of Dr. Eric Williams and his vision for education, that you can go up to tertiary level free of charge in this country. I want to say thank you. I say more fin yin yin to Dr. Eric Williams for all what he has laid down for this country. And if public servants listen to his independence speech, half of them will not be running away when 2:30 reach. And Paul, Anna Ramlogan was only giving a lot of gun talk, you know. He only telling Calder Hart, he talked what he was going for him. Calder Hart, I remember, put out, he took a picture in his veranda in Fort Lauderdale and he said, here I am, I'm waiting. And Anna Ramlogan was only giving gun talk. He demitted office and never went under after Calder Hart. The
I don't think
man
he didn't
right
demit office, you know. The office demit him.
What you said?
He didn't demit office. The office demitted him.
Oh yes, thanks for that correction. He was removed. He was
He was
going
fired.
after
He was fired.
I thought you shaven.
Thank you,
I
Wendell.
finished
He
him. I
was
went on bed.
fired. So he couldn't go after Calder Hart because he was seeking doing other things that got him fired. And I want to say, you see that legislation that the age, I'm so upset because you see that I will bet you all my entire salary. Come after independence, we're going to be having fireworks in Wipwefn, scratch bomb in Wipwefn, down here in the west. It ain't going to stop. It will go all the way down to Olier's night. I will bet anybody that. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Happy Independence.
Same to you.
All right, thank you. Let's keep it short and sweet. All my lines are lit up. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Don't listen to your device. Listen to us on your phone.
morning.
Yes, morning.
I'm calling to find out where I can get, what location in Europe I can get those tickets.
Oh, for the play?
No,
Ted Butler.
for Independence, the parade.
Oh,
Oh, you don't need a ticket for the parade?
I think you need to read. You may for this if you want to go in the grandstand, there may be some kind of arrangement in place.
You need an invitation for there, not so?
Yeah.
That's in for the stands is invitation only, but on the outskirts it's free. Just go.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
All the best to you, my dear. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Happy Independence.
Happy Independence. This is Chris Tusa, your Washington, D.C. correspondent.
Hey, Chris.
You sung nothing like Lennox.
And then, as an independence baby, but being a real Trini, I was 4 days late. I would like to wish our country and all of you a happy independence. At 60, as far as countries go, we're young, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad have no issues that the great United States of America don't have. We have crime here that will be off the chain, right? In Washington, D.C. over the weekend, I think we had 7 murders or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So Trinidad young, Trinidad going through its growing pains, but Trinidad is still paradise. If we could get the crime under control, half of the Trinis in America would be moving back because the United States on its way into a little bit of turmoil. But happy independence and enjoy.
Put out your flag today.
Yeah, Chris, don't hang up. Don't hang up yet, Chris.
I'm assuming, Chris, you're September 4th born.
I am.
All right, nice, man.
All right, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Guess who I have on the line as well?
Oh,
Let's say good morning going out to Daddy-O.
Daddy-O.
Yes.
Lennox.
Lennox, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I am good. I have Chris on the line here as well.
My son, Chris.
Your son Chris called us, so I decided to do an Independence 3-way call.
Family reunion.
Called you. I'm sure he didn't tell you the big celebration you have coming up in a few days' time.
Well, he did say that in 4 days' time, we going or what?
Boy, my wife would like to go. No, I would like to go.
All right. When you're booking tickets, book for 3.
Yeah,
Lennox?
celebrating his diamond, boy.
It's cheaper for me to come there, than for all of you all to come here.
Well, yes, welcome.
But Lennox, I think Chris trying to tell you for you to send the tickets. I think that's what you hinted,
Yeah, I think so too.
That's right.
I think PowerPoint or 2 pockets a little deeper than my father.
I ain't know about that, no?
I know about that one.
Oh,
And since I am on Power 102 every morning, I could become your foreign correspondent.
Well, I thought you were.
And thereby, make sure that I cover this end of the market for you.
There you go.
That will be possible, but we may have some conflicts of interest issues.
Why a conflict of interest? My father don't work there no more.
Oh, you know that? Okay. Well, you clearly don't know everything, sir.
Oh God, don't sell out Lennox now.
Thank you. Well, he's technically not working here, but that doesn't mean he's not associated in a significant manner.
That is true, but that wouldn't be different to any other organization in Trinidad.
Well, wow.
There you go. There you go. Take that.
But Chris, answer me this question whilst Lennox is on the phone. How is it? Are you saying you're going to be 60, but Lennox don't look a day older than 65?
Well, he starts young.
How Lennox managed
Lennox had him at 18 on the dot.
He started young.
Nah, Lennox can't be 78. I refuse to believe that. Lennox back at like a 40-year-old man.
Paul very close to it.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's right. News.
We can confuse matters a little more if you tell you on the 16th of September, my wife and I celebrate 50 years of marriage.
On the 16th of September. Wow.
Wow. Angela deserve a trophy, yes?
Yeah, more than a trophy.
I'm not saying nothing with that. Angela is a sweetheart.
Oh, God. You know whose side they're on, eh?
Oh, gosh.
I hear you, pal. I hear you. Anyway, Lennox, thank you for taking the call. Chris, thanks for calling in. All the best to you. Father and son on the line.
Good morning. Good morning. Have a pleasant day tomorrow.
Happy Independence, buddy.
I am looking for the police van coming down Frederick Street.
Yep, they will be.
Playing out and bad.
But it more than likely will be that, yes.
With Gary Griffith playing trombone.
I don't know about that part.
Hey.
It might be a thought that he might be having, but a reality not so.
Wow. Have a good day, Lennox. Happy Independence.
Happy Independence, Chief. All the best to you. Chris, all the best to you.
Next time I'm in Washington,
right.
I'll hit you up.
All right. No problem.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Chief.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's take some more calls. Good morning. Good morning.
Happy Independence to all.
Happy Independence.
Yeah, the country, anybody who says that we did not make any progress, something wrong with them. Because
Agreed.
Yeah, the country is like a bus going up the highway, Half of the bus can't see nothing because the sun in the eyes, and the next side, the half enjoying the beauty of the country. But I guess you just have to take it like everything else. All I wish for my country is for people to take their responsibilities serious and the work ethic to improve. Because let's face it, if everybody does what they are paid to do, the country would be in an amazing footing. Right? So thanks to you all guys, because you all make things happen. You all discuss things, and then a week or two after you read about it in the papers.
Thank you for that.
That can be no coincidence.
But not at the rate it's happening.
Yeah.
we talk about road for about a month and then they promise to talk about fixing the road. So
All right, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Be safe.
All the best. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Wendell, Stan, Richard.
Mr. Patrick, was that your wife that called in earlier on?
Wait, buddy.
I'm just asking a question.
Mr. Trinbago, Mr. Patrick.
You making back early this morning?
No, I mean it in a good way. You are somebody who's called in and spoken with passion about a lot of issues in Trinidad and Tobago. So I think you're a patriot. So I say it in the most complimentary way.
And I want to thank you for independence, and we as a nation have to be proud that we don't have no civil unrest. We just have racial tension in this country.
And a little dumping on the highway now and then.
Well, that is slight matter compared to civil unrest based on racialism. And you know, it has some radio station they'll be putting it out live and direct.
Many. Many of them.
Civil unrest. Huh?
Many of them.
Yeah. Listen to what I say, boy. Thank God that we don't have no civil unrest and development. I was telling somebody that highway we don't be driving on. I can remember when it was a one lane. You know Ragoobarsingh?
What you put dragging my name to where you're back and all for?
Because your sister now say 60 years old.
You mean it wasn't dual carriage all the way?
No, it was a one lane. Up and down one road.
Wendell told me about that, and then there was a protest or something too.
So the flyover is there no flyover?
Says the person who sit on Eric Williams' knee.
Yes.
Yeah, but
in the office.
Great well development and with GATE program. The GATE program and one of the best things about Trinidad and Tobago. I'll be celebrating our birthday tomorrow too.
You?
Yeah.
So when I call you Mr. Trinidad just now, you should have tell me that. Not try to chastise me. By the way, Niagara Falls will be lit up red, white, and black tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Trinidad Tobago's independence. Yep.
Wonderful.
If my mother was alive today, would have been she birthday? She'd have been 99.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't they also light up the what is it? The CN Tower.
The CN Tower, yes.
Yeah, man. So everybody, all the best and happy birthday to Trinidad and Tobago. I hope you have good weather tomorrow. No rain. I hear all about flood out and roof fly off for God. Hope we have no rain tomorrow and the celebration nice. And all these firecrackers people, come down from the boy. Come down from the. I go on.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Patrick. All the best. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Happy Independence to all of you.
Same to you.
Big guy, what's happening?
I'm cool. I can't share my joy with you all today, but my mother, who is 95, is languishing in a corridor at the Port of St. John for 2 days with a large heart.
Wow.
Port of Hospital. I find that, so I can't share the joy of being proud of the country, because to have a large heart at 95 and be in a corridor for 2 days, it's disgusting. Okay, gentlemen, but to Trinidad and Tobago, I wish you all the best and have a happy independence.
Wow.
Them to you, buddy. Sorry to hear that. I hope she gets some kind of support here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Keep us posted with that.
At 95,
Yeah.
but at 95,
And it's not a strange story. It's not a unique story, sadly.
you know,
And that's the sad part, Paul. Good
I
morning.
don't know, no, that's not good enough to me, because we spend too much money on healthcare that.
And when you bring it to the attention of the Minister of Health, he goes in and will investigate, and then you never hear anything about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. At 95 years, you've contributed your life to the country, and you
priority.
are a 95-year-old, have an enlarged heart, and they're leaving you to a corridor for 2 days? How is that plausible?
Yeah.
So all of the administrators and people who are in charge of the hospital don't look at older people and say, they have contributed to the country, let me deal with it. Or you just see it as a bother.
No, they'll just say, we have no beds, so stay there.
That is so
Good morning,
disgusting,
Paul.
eh?
It is. Call a morning.
Morning. You know, when my wife had called the Ministry of Education to inquire about my pension, I retired early, it would kick in at 55. At one point, one of the clerks asked her, "He ain't dead yet?"
Wow.
I had time to get my pension. Clerk would ask my wife after all these continuous inquiries. So that's the kind of treatment you get here. I was 2 years old when we got independence. So I was not aware of it, and I didn't know what it means and all of that. And sometimes I wonder if we are really independent. We have the documents. I'm sure we have documents to say that we are independent. But we are so interconnected to begin with, everybody is, and then we depend on people for our food. And it's not like we are living in a place where we can't grow any. And then otherwise, I think while we have done well in terms of people not killing each other and so on, although that has been tried, I think that we could have done a little better. No, maybe it's just me. I've been in the thing so long that I always look to see where we could do a little better. I would have liked to see a more technological society, a better work ethic, more industrialization, and a more focused approach to objectives and that kind of thing. But there's still room for that. People are saying we're 60 years old. But my 62 did not exist in the same time as my father's first 62. So we can't compare ourselves to times gone by. It's like when someone says, well, who's the better batsman? And they operated in different eras. You really can't do that, with any, credibility, any great credibility. There's so many factors. But let's say that we have done well. People seem to be happy. That's a marker. People are happy you have done well to some degree. And we can go forward from here. So happy independence to all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
All the best. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Steve, Wendell, Richard, and
Paul.
Happy independence to you all. I want to endorse what Guy Small just said, but I want to say that I want to convey my deepest concern to Ray Small, Gillian Small, and Ray Small, because their mom, who is also my aunt of 95 years, is still in the corridor of the emergency room, and she has congenital heart failure. She is in a critical condition, and it has been like that for the past 2 days.
Wow.
My dear aunt, she probably hardly ever visited a hospital, was never sickly or sick, right? Apart from the past 4 years when her hip was broken, right? But she is a woman who never really had to frequent the hospital, and to think she has to be lying in the emergency on a bed at the age of 95 is really deplorable. Thank you all, and my condolences, not really condolences, but I am with Guy, Ray, and
ma'am, can you do us a favor and send Steve your number off air? We have to pursue this a little further through our newsroom.
Okay, I will.
We need to get
Hold
more
on,
information on this today. I just can't it's really disgusting, and we need more information to do some sort of story on it. It needs to be corrected. We just can't.
What's her name again?
Go like it was a greeting.
What's her name?
Whose name? My name?
Your aunt's name.
Your aunt's name. The person in the hospital.
Joyce Small. Joyce Small.
And when was she admitted?
Right? She was admitted the day before
Sunday?
yesterday in the morning. Yeah.
Sunday morning.
And she has been in a corridor, you say?
She's in the emergency, right? Because I wanted
room
to go
corridor.
see her. Yeah, but that's what I was made to understand. And I don't know if it was Sunday morning or Sunday evening, but I wanted to go to run and jump in my car to go and see her yesterday, and they said you can't go and see her because where she is, they're not allowing patients and not allowing visitors. You understand? And this is so sad to think that our minister is in hospital because he has the flu, and somebody who has congenital heart failure, right, is lying down on a bed in a corridor because there are no beds. You understand?
Recording in progress.
I just think it's wrong. And we have to investigate this. That is just wrong on so many different levels. For somebody who has contributed so much to this country, certainly, who has worked and is in her 90s, and clearly the family is trying to reach out to media to get this story out, because it is untenable.
Of course it is, and in addition to that, She worked in some government departments as well. You know, she did her contribution to the community and the country. You understand? That lady was a very hard worker. I know her. But she's my aunt. She's my dear aunt and the second to last living aunt. You understand? 95. And that's where she is. That's where they have her, man. Oh, gosh, man. Let's have some more compassion.
And the authorities have been told she has congenital heart issues?
Yes, congenital heart failure, and she's critical. And the doctor said, well, you know, at least she has lived a long life, so there's no thing about thinking about putting her on any life support because, you know, she's at the age of 95, right?
But even if they feel as a diagnosis that there's nothing they can do, having her in a corridor is not compassionate care.
I don't know that there's nothing they could do.
And I don't know that there's nothing they could do either.
There's nothing they could do, or they don't want to spend their time doing anything.
Well, I can't answer that, but the thing about it is that, I mean, because she's 95 years old, she must be left there?
Yeah.
Because she's 95 years old, she must receive immaculate attention.
What is your name, dear?
My name is Wendy Ann.
Wendy Ann, who I know, Orango is Wendy Ann?
Yeah, Wendy Ann James.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she's my dear darling aunt. Right? My dear darling aunt, I tell you.
Well, we'll make some calls this morning.
Yeah, I just sent you.
Show you.
Call I sent it to you.
Okay. You
Thank
have
you
my
for
number,
telling us.
Steve?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
That is just wrong on so many levels.
It is. But I remember pre-pandemic, a friend of mine in San Fernando, a young chap, was having chest pains. And the doctors said he was
stopped.
He was getting a heart attack, and he had to sit on a chair for 2 days.
But that's not an uncommon story, unfortunately. Anyway, 8 o'clock, we're going to make some calls about that situation.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, Evie is in. Let's get into our major news. Well, our news brief, I should say. All powered by Champlain Auto Services.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.